Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Craig Petronella. I'm an IT, cybersecurity, and compliance expert. I'm a CMMC certified registered practitioner with the CMMC-AB.org, and I'll be your host for the presentation today. Today we're going to talk about the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification, or CMMC 2.0, for federal defense contractors. Who is Craig Petronella? That's me, your host. I'm a longtime cyber expert. I'm a tech enthusiast focused on the strategic alignment of people, process, and technology to empower organizations to thrive in this digital age of information. Petronella Technology Group, or Ptg, provides security risk assessments, penetration testing, training, and consulting services to help businesses reduce employees' improper handling of controlled unclassified information, or CUI, and federal contract information, or FCI, covered defense information, or CDI, and personal identifiable information, or PII, fines and penalties for regulated breaches, cyber fraud, theft of credit card data. Good cyber hygiene is akin to a properly aligned spine. No one really pays attention to it, but those that do easily stand at the summit. Protecting data is paramount, and those who actively and proactively do so tend to be the most successful businesses. It's really the foundation of your business, and it's rewarding to see my clients withstand cyber attacks and win new contracts. Are you prepared? Solutions to cybersecurity must be aligned with people, process, and technology, and need to be both scalable and sustainable. Cybercrime is a growing threat. Hackers are not going to wait for contractors, subcontractors, or vendors to get their cybersecurity whipped into shape to start a cyber attack. Exfiltration of sensitive data by malicious actors around the globe is a threat to both national and economic security. The DoD is working with the Defense Industrial Base, or DIB, to enhance protection of controlled unclassified information, or CUI, along the supply chain. What does this mean for your business? 2021 saw a 69% increase in cyber attack-related complaints to the FBI. How does this impact you? Well, comply today. The requirements to comply are 5+ years old now. The CMMC combines various cybersecurity standards and best practices. It maps these controls across 3 different maturity levels. The maturity levels build on each other. They range from foundational cyber hygiene to expert. For a given CMMC level, the associated controls, when implemented, will reduce risks against a specific set of cyber threats. It's imperative for you to be compliant. Making a false claim is a serious offense with the False Claims Act. CMMC 2.0, what we know today. What is the CMMC? The Department of Defense, or DoD, certification process that combines various cybersecurity standards into one unified standard for cybersecurity. It measures the ability of members of the DIB, or Defense Industrial Base, to protect data. We've got Federal Contract Information, or FCI, and CUI, or Controlled Unclassified Information. Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification 2.0. CMMC has been simplified, but it's not going away. We've reduced it from 5 to 3 maturity levels. Maturity level now is self-certifying. DFARS 7012 and Nist 800-171 are still required today. No changes to the clauses of 7019 or 7020. SPRS, or SPRS self-attestation, is still mandatory. CDoD enforcement to be more aggressive from the DoD. Civil Cyber Fraud Initiative creates more False Claims Act participants. Expect more aggressive requirements from the primes. Whistleblowers can report non-compliance. On the left side here, we have the CMMC Model One, which showed the 5 different levels, ranging from basic level 1 with only 17 practices, all the way up to level 5 with 171 practices. That's been simmered down and reduced on the right side with CMMC Model 2.0. We still have level 1, the foundational, which is 17 practices, where an annual self-assessment is okay. Moving up, we have maturity level 2 for advanced, which is 110 practices, which are aligned with Nist SP 800-171. Triennial third-party assessments for critical national security information. Annual self-assessments for select programs. And then moving up to maturity level 3, we've got expert at 110 plus practices based on and building on level 1 and 2. So we still have to do the Nist 800-171, but now we add on the supplemental 800-172. And this is triennial government-led assessments. To be clear, on maturity level 2, there are no longer allowing, this was a recent change, they're no longer allowing self-assessments. So you have to do self-assessments on your own. However, you still have to have a third-party assessment done at maturity level 2 and higher. The third one is government-led. So we have Cybersecurity Maturity Model 2.0. The new requirements mirror very similar to Nist 800-171 and now 172. With CMMC 1.02, we had 20 delta controls that were eliminated. We've eliminated a lot of the alternative levels and simmered it down from 5 levels to 2. The maturity process has created a 50% to 100% level of effort for businesses. They were poorly defined, and in the full year after CMMC was originally released, the DoD never provided an example of a passing policy, a procedure, or a plan. CMMC 2.0 Level 2 aligned with 800-171. CMMC 2.0 Level 3 will include a subset of 800-172 controls. The assessment changes for CMMC 2.0 Level 1, which is the self-assessment, where we have the entity and the corporate officer attestation. Moving up to CMMC 2.0 Level 2, we've got the third-party assessment, which needs to be awarded. You have to have that third-party assessment before you'll get a new contract award. And you'll still have to do your own annual self-assessments, but again, they made that change where you have to do the third-party assessment as well. And you also have to have buy-in at the C levels for the corporate officer attestation. And then the 2.0 Level 3, you'll have to get that assessment done by the government. Self-assessment at maturity level 1 is self-attestation. The third-party assessment is required for maturity level 2, and limited plan of action and milestones, or POAMs, or waivers are allowed. These will only be temporary waivers, though, and they'll be really difficult to attain. The parameters for POAMs and waivers will be defined during the rulemaking stage. POAMs are allowed under 2.0, but only for a 180-day period. I recommend trying to not use POAMs at all, because POAMs are really like a Band-Aid. So why even have a Band-Aid to begin with? Try to just go straight and fix the problem if you can. DoD certifications at maturity level 3 have an increased responsibility and role. Contractors are encouraged to comply with heavily weighted Nist controls as soon as possible to be positioned for a deluge of CUI being released under coming procurements. Here's the DFARS interim rule. Katie Arrington once said, "The CMMC certification is like your driver's license on the information superhighway." Coming lay-in of CMMC 2.0 has added new contracting requirements. We've got the 7019, which advises contractors that they must maintain and report their 800-171 compliance in the SPURS system. It also explains the 3 types of assessments or audits, which are basic, medium, and high. 7020 outlines the requirements of contractors to provide the government access to its facilities if the DoD is renewing a contract or conducting a medium or high assessment. 7021 discusses integration of CMMC maturity levels 1 through 3. The DFARS interim rule, the Supplier Performance Risk System, or SPRS, and the DoD Assessment Methodology, or DODAM score. The SPRS, or self-assessment, effectively reinforces self-attestation of Nist 800-171. Have you completed your SPRS self-assessment yet? Because it was due back on December 1st of 2020. Currently, it included most RFPs. Not recommended that contractors wait. The DoD wants all subcontractors and primes to self-attest as soon as possible. CMMC will roll out after rulemaking, but until then you must complete the SPRS self-assessment. You need a guide, and we are here to help you. The benefits of Nist and CMMC compliance are increased security, a competitive advantage, peace of mind, and Nist 853. Being Nist 800-171 compliant will significantly reduce the likelihood of a breach, and if you're breached, it will decrease the impact of the breach. Once you have put in the time, energy, and money it requires to be Nist 800-171 compliant, you gain a competitive advantage over other businesses who are not. Gain peace of mind and don't lose sleep wondering if you're going to lose your contract and your reputation because you failed to comply. With Nist 853, you're that much closer to being compliant. Taking just a few steps will gain that much more of a competitive advantage. The Ptg process. Your journey is smooth and measurable. A simple risk assessment produces a customized blueprint toward total compliance. Your people are encouraged to perform a risk assessment, provided with policies that form a guided framework, and trained to use technologies as the active principle in cybersecurity. You'll join a group of high-level DoD contractors working with very sensitive information that we've helped, and kept in the flow of new contract awards with strategic AI-driven tools. CMMC 2.0 takeaways. POAMs have changed dramatically. They're only good for up to 180 days now. Most heavily weighted of the 110 controls cannot be part of a POAM. We suggest identifying those and commencing maturity. Prescription to comply with 800-171 is found in almost 100% of DoD prime and subcontracts. When you sign a contract, you're self-attesting compliance with both the FAR 52.20421 and the DFARS 252.204/7012. Controlled Unclassified Information, or CUI, will become routine in most procurements. Expect a flood of CUI. To gain access to CUI, it will likely require the right maturity level or SPRS score. DoD major primes will be some of the strictest enforcers of Nist 7012-7013 compliance. If you rely on a third-party MSP, that does not relieve you of the obligation and the compliance in any manner. You can't outsource that responsibility. We suggest having early meetings with your MSP to discuss the responsibilities and the roles, and we highly recommend that there are CMMC-AB certified registered provider organizations, and you work with certified registered practitioners with your DFAR, CMMC, and Nist compliance. The MSP should be compliant as well. What our clients say. We've got 5-star reviews. We've been trusted to work with the largest corporations in the world. We've recently won the 2021 Upcity Award of Excellence, as well as the Better Business Bureau's 2021 Small Business Award. So what do we do next? Our recommendation is to review your system security plan against Nist 800-171. Perform a gap analysis and a risk assessment to identify your vulnerabilities in your system security plan. POAMs, or Plan of Action and Milestones, should be tailored to your gap analysis. Input your score into the Supplier Performance Risk System, or SPRS. Be sure to customize your policies to align with any POAM goals. Implement Ptg suggested PROAMs in sequential order to catapult your SPRS score upwards. Revisit your system security plan, your POAMs, and policies to ensure they're all in alignment. Final adjustment of people, process, and technology to mirror the alignment. Maintain cyber synergy throughout the Ptg managed maintenance. You can succeed with our guidance. We suggest you talk right away to us. Please call us at 919-601-1601 or visit petronellatech.com.